A couple of weeks ago, I did an episode on a BMW scooter, namely the CEO4. It's something different, a novelty. It's a full electric scooter. However, I think it looks very futuristic. So I wanted to ride and review it and see if it's practical or if its limitations are problematic to live with every day. Now, I really enjoyed that thing. It was a bit of a novelty, and I'm very passionate about anything to do with two wheels and a motor. So when I saw this scooter at BMW, it's the BMW C400GT. I think this thing looks super elegant, it's classy, it's modern, and it has some features about it that I really think are practical, are modern, and look super cool. So in this episode, I'm going to look at the basic specs of this C400GT and take it for a ride, see if it's something that I could live with every day, use as a commuter if it doesn't have the limitations of the electric one, and if it puts a smile on my face. So here in front of me is the 2024 BMW C400 GT scooter. It's all about urban mobility. But just having a look at it, it's the GT and it's the tourer. If you look at it and you get on it and you ride it, this is not limited to just the urban mobility. This is something you could tour a little bit with on. You can get out of town, the range is good, and you ride the super comfort. If you look at that big rider seat, with that support for the lower back, if you look at the massive pillion seat, you can put luggage onto this thing, and it's a heavier scooter, and the weight actually gives it that stability, that confidence when turning. The build quality, yes, it's built in China, but it's developed by Riccardo in Italy, and you got that combination, that Italian design flair, you've got the BMW German build quality, and you have the cost effectiveness of being built and assembled in China. So all round it actually does work, and you see from a design point of view, it's not bland, it's cool, and it's not just this fragile little scooter that you have a perception of. So it's a bit of a crossover, in my opinion, of a scooter comfort, everyday livability with, but it's not a motorcycle that you get yourself into huge trouble with. Now, to give you a bit of background on this, BMW launched the C400X in 2017, the X being a little bit more the naked one, and the C400 GT they launched in 2018, and production started in 2019. So let's jump right in and have a look at the specs on the motor of this thing. This little motor is a single cylinder 4-stroke liquid cooled single overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, fuel injected, 350cc. Now, the performance is not going to set your hair on fire or frighten you at 34 horsepower, which is 25 kilowatt at 7,500 RPM. Max torque, to be precise, is 35.3 Newton meters at 5,750 RPM. Now, that's not what it's all about. The carefree, hassle-free, the transmission is CVT, continuously variable transmission with an override. And on top of that, belt drive as final drive, which limits and minimizes your maintenance. It makes it simpler, it makes it quieter, and it just makes it more comfortable. All round, super cool. When I spoke about the weight, I mean, dry weight is 202 kilos, wet weight 214 kilos for a scooter, which is quite hefty, but I feel when riding it, that's what gives you that stability, confidence, and sure-footedness. So, fuel range, it's 12.8 liters, and within that, a 3-liter reserve range. The frame is aluminium steel, and all the body panels are plastic. The suspension up front, you have a telescopic fork in front, 35mm diameter with a travel of 110mm. At the rear, you've got a twin swing arm, travel 112mm. If you look at the wheels, aluminium wheels, 15-inch shod with a 120, and at the back, you've got a 14-inch shod with a 150. When it comes to brakes, you've got dual discs up front, 265mm with hydraulic brakes. At the back, also the same size, 265 disc with hydraulic brakes, and you can see the ABS ring. ABS is standard on the scooter. The seat height is 775mm, and the option is a heated seat as well as heated grips. However, here in South Africa, it is a standard on the scooter. It is all round a well thought out scooter, in my opinion. It focuses on comfort, and on top of it, you have so many safety features when it comes to your traction, your ABS, and modern technology has found its way onto the scooter. And let's look at the TFT, starting with the TFT. LED lighting all around, and you have to see this headlight. Going to the front, have a look at this headlight. I think this is fantastic, looks cool. So riding a scooter, very often people think it is uncool, but if you have a look at this TFT, very familiar BMW. Once you've ridden a BMW, you know exactly how that works. I actually have it on this screen. I think it looks cool. If I go down on the menu, here we go, urban, and I can go up, and that is your more traditional looking dash by BMW. So all round, all the controls, very familiar BMW with your magic wheel over here. Now, just talking about some standard features you get with this: LED lighting all around, headlight, rear light indicators. It's keyless, self-calibrating ABS. You have the center stand on this bike over here, USB charging socket, ride-by-wire, and the full color TFT with your connectivity to navigation. Some optionals: heated grips and seat, which, as Ella mentioned, is on this bike and standard here in South Africa, an anti-theft alarm system as well. Some of the accessories that you can get a top case for this, top case liner. There are windscreen variants, luggage carrier. You also get a lower seat should you have shorter legs. The navigator by BMW, smartphone bracket, and your USB dual charging ports. When it comes to colors, this your standard Alpine white. Your option would be a style triple black, and new for 2024, which replaces the outgoing Callisto Grey Metallic, you have the Imperial Blue Metallic, and I think that looks stunning. Now, having a look at some of the practicalities of the scooter, you've got two compartments like cubby holes up front. Now, if I push over here, they are locked. Now, if I push over here with a keyless ignition close by, I can push over here and it opens up. And I don't know if you can see that. Here's your USB charging port, and push over here, and another cubby hole over here. Extremely practical. Now, if you bend down over here and you push this button, that unlocks your seat. Now, when you pick the seat up, you can see massive storage compartment, nice build quality with this gas shock. And a cool feature here, if you release this, you see this drops down. As you push this down, you have the full size storage for a helmet, because it fits in up here and it goes down. However, when it's in this position, the scooter will not start, because you see this is actually too close to the wheel at the bottom. So this is how you store and lock your helmet if you're cruising around. Here's a small storage with some space on top if you go to the shops quickly. And if you just pull this up in this position, scooter can ride. And again, when you get to your destination, pull this lever down, drop this, store your helmet, and it locks in. How cool is that? And when you put that in place and you switch the bike off, and then you can't open it up, and your helmet, your gloves, everything, your house keys would be safe in the storage. To recap, I think it is a very, very practical scooter. The weight is a positive on this scooter, if I may say. The lines are very modern, classy, elegant, matured. You don't look like a teeny bopper cruising to school on a scooter. It is classy. The wind protection is good. The weight gives it that stability. If you look at the space you have on this, the support on it, it is extremely comfortable. It is a genuine GT scooter, and the pillion seat is space. The modern features of your ABS, self-calibrating, the TFTs and all of that. It's an all-in-one scooter. So I think I'm going to stop waffling now, jump on it and go for a ride. Okay, real simple to start the scooter. CVT transmission, which means you don't have a clutch lever. This is rear brake, that's front brake. Your side stand has to be up, otherwise it will not start. Keyless start, push the button, everything and the dash ignites. Cool display. I love BMW's, your traditional display. And then when you go down, you go to urban, that's that one, and we go to the scooter one. Otherwise you go up, you go to my vehicle, and you see all the graphics, very much BMW like on the other bikes. I love the graphics, I love the color. Easy, that magic wheel, push it over, urban, and we go to that display. I think it's cool, all your details, all your functionalities as per BMW. When you ignite this or start it, one of the brake levers has to be depressed. Don't touch the throttle, it fires itself up. Then you're ready to go, and really it is all about rolling the throttle on and off we go. Now scooters, what are scooters designed for? Scooters are really designed for transportation, mobility around town, and that's why this scooter is all about urban mobility. But I can tell you, when you sit on it, within the first minutes, be that 1 or 2 or 5 minutes, you will realize how comfortable you're sitting. Your feet can be down like this, mid-mount, or you can put them forward like that, forward mount, and you have this real good support on your lower back. You can push yourself back and you're just extremely comfortable. It feels like you can ride this thing for about 3 hours without getting fatigued. The handlebars are in a very comfortable position. My hands are slightly lower than my elbows, which means there is no fatigue, nothing on my lower back, nothing on my forearms. My weight is carried very upright, nothing hunched forward. Visibility is just superb. Your limitations would be your helmet. There is nothing here obscuring your visibility. The first thing, again, I don't want to be negative about something, because when you're commuting you really don't need 100 horsepower, but we get so used to our super bikes and our horsepowers, so maybe the 400 should be a little bit bigger. BMW used to have a C650, so if you look here, I can drop anything at a traffic light. I don't need more power, I really don't need more, and it's smooth. And this is where the practicality comes in. You can let go, you can ride, you don't have to work a clutch, you don't have to pay attention what gear you're in, change down. You can lane split. The scooter is wide enough to give you brilliant protection, wind protection. I think even if it were to rain, I would be pretty well protected. My legs would be protected, my upper body, maybe just a little bit on top of my helmet, I'd get moisture on. So the protection is there. It's wide enough for that, but it's not too wide to go in lane split. The power is not going to scare you. You can give it a handful. The pull off with this transmission is extremely smooth. It's a seamless transmission. Here, this is Africa, guys, enjoy. This is what Africa is all about. The cool thing is these guys aren't begging, they're doing something, they're entertaining us for a little bit of money. Who thought that a bike review could be a promotional video for Africa? So getting back to this, CVT gearbox is actually superb. It's smooth. When I roll on, the sensitivity is there. I can roll gently. When I grab a handful, I can drop the cars on my side. The changing is seamless. You don't feel anything. You don't see anything on the revs. You drop all the cars. It's fast enough. You're not going to be an obstacle. And the big thing is it's extremely comfortable. The protection, wind protection to the elements is fantastic. I can move around on the seat forward and back. I can move my legs around on these floorboards, and I don't have to worry about a gearbox. All I have to do is open a throttle. And even if I'm mentally not 100% focused on the road, I'm not going to overdo it with a throttle. I'm not going to collect tickets all day, all night. So from a practicality point of view, it's more than enough. Here we go again, roll on. You can see, get up to 60. Everyone gets left behind. So when it comes to urban mobility, a scooter, commuting around town, this is ample power, really, really plenty. And the sure-footedness of this thing, I would say the suspension might be a little bit on the stiff side, but it's practical, confidence inspiring. The rear brakes are extremely powerful. The front brakes, you have to apply progressive braking. It's not two-finger braking. You really have to grab a little bit. Here we go. You can roll it on and it goes nicely. It is a very, very stable scooter. As mentioned, the suspension might be a little bit firmer than expected, but really this is a scooter where you can be half brain dead and half preoccupied, which you shouldn't be doing while commuting, riding. You don't have the limitations of an electric scooter. You can go to work and back. Consumption, as mentioned, 3.5 liters per 100, nearly 13-liter petrol tank, gives you a healthy range. And it's modern, it has the safety features, it's extremely comfortable, and it's also cool looking. So it's not something that you're embarrassed to ride when you say, oh, scooter. I think something just stress-free, working back, commuting around town. But then again, because of its comfort, this is something that would allow you to ride out of town. And I think this is what we're going to do now. We're going to find a little bit of a highway stretch and see if that overdrive makes it comfortable, see a little bit what the top speed is all about, and enjoy it. See the wind protection, the balance point on this bike. Center of gravity is really low, so even when you're rolling at really low speeds, I don't feel the need to put my feet on the ground because it just balances so well. Also the illumination, the daytime running lights, fantastic. Heated seats. Today is a really, really cold day. This morning it was 7 degrees. So creature comforts. I think some people have the stigma with scooter. No, I don't ride scooter, I ride motorbikes. This to me is, it's got everything a motorbike has, just smaller wheels and different bodywork. Practical. Here you can see the comments. It's a BMW.
Ja, maar ek sien nie so staan 400, dis 'n 400.
Yeah.
Larry, how?
So here was already a compliment at the traffic light. Guys giving compliments. They think this looks cool. In Afrikaans, blerry cool is what he said. So yeah, you see, it's not your stereotypical scooter. So rolling around slowly, this thing balances perfect. If you put the feet forward like this, you've got so much space. Then you can put your feet in the middle. Here you can see your fuel filler. It all locks. Your cubby holes, you can have your garage house keys in here, locked nicely. It's just the visibility, the rear view mirrors, it looks past your shoulders. It's not too high, it's lower than the screen. This standard screen is perfect. I don't have any problems. I don't really know if it's adjustable, to be honest. This is a brand new scooter. I'm the first person to be on it. From PDI, it was 5 kilometers when I picked it up this morning. And it is something that in the intro I did say, would it be something that I could live with? Would it be something that I could ride and live with every day? Does it put a smile on my face? And the answer to that is yes, to both of them. Here we go, just to give it a little bit. You can see I'm not a moving obstacle. Getting onto the highway now, opening it up, I'm already on 100. I haven't even finished and joined the highway. I'm still on the on-ramp. So legal limits come up very quickly. Cruising speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can top it out. We obviously at a different altitude here, 1600 meters, 1700 meters above sea level, but she's still performing. Here you can see 120 has just come up, 125, and she's still climbing. Here we go. And now I'm at 130 and still going. So no problem running this thing. I'm not an obstacle, it's not loud, it's extremely quiet, and I must say it's very smooth. Very smooth running here. It's holding 137. I'm not tucked in. 138. I'm sitting upright. You can hear it's a bit noisy. If I go down here and tuck in, you can hear it gets quieter, but it runs illegal here at 138. I'm already going to get a speeding fine. It'll cost me a couple of £100. 139. Here we go. As per literature, 140. I'm now officially exceeding the literature. 140 kilometers per hour. Legal limit on the South African highways, 120 kilometers per hour. It's running, holding its speed anywhere between 137, 138, and when I tuck in, 140 is possible. So I think you get in the accessories options, you get the taller windscreens, so you can see I can commute to work, be exceeding the speed limit. Look at that, one hand. How comfortable is that? This thing could actually have cruise control. It is very stable, very smooth, and this is where I say the weight of this scooter is positive, because if it's too light, the wind would buffet you. This is solid. And I must say it's not intimidating. I've never ridden the scooter before. Today's my very first day on the scooter, and I'm really at home. I could run this thing all day, every day. And yes, why not run out of Johannesburg an hour and a half for a nice little breakfast run? Here I'm at 143 and I'm sitting upright. So the speed limits, you can cross them. It gets up to the speed fairly quickly. You don't have to have a runway to get up there. Going off, the indicators, everything, the controls are big enough, so even with the thick gloves it works well. Have a look at this, stable, doing 80 k's an hour, and it's not in what I have a stereotype about scooters. This is not your stereotypical scooter. So what I'm saying with the predictability of it, this throttle, you can roll it on so smoothly. Sensitivity's there, you can whack it all the way, it's not going to spin up the back and frighten you. You can roll on an uphill, on a downhill. It's very predictable. You know just how much you're going to get. Not going to catch you off guard. It's smooth. You cannot feel any transitions of gears or whatever. It's a seamless ride, and it's carefree, hassle-free commuting. Visibility, space, storage compartment. I mean, I don't even have a top box, but I can get to my destination, put my helmet, even jacket, gloves, lock it away. Don't have to carry anything around. I can go to the shops, get a little bit of stuff for dinner and ride home. Again, all weather, you got good wind protection. What more do you want for an everyday ride? So maybe it's not what some bikes are, 4-in-1s or 3-in-1s. If you want to do a track day, no, it wouldn't work on this. I suppose you could, but if you're gonna go blast on a weekend canyon carver, enemy to knee sliders, no, it won't tick those boxes. But it is a genuine GT, so thumbs up to that BMW. This is a GT, this is a tourer, and it's, in my opinion, I would say it's unfair calling this a scooter. Yes, it's a scooter because it fits in that mold, but it's more practical than your scooter. It does more than your average scooter. It rides better than your stereotypical scooter ride. And it's such a perfect blend between Italian design, Italian flair, German build quality, cost-effective Chinese assembly. So why not? Having a smaller capacity motor, yes, also has its perks. You can always look at the pros and cons. I'm looking from the child inside of me, the little boy, he wants to open the throttle and go like stink. However, in commuting, you're looking for efficiency. You're looking for non-intimidating, all weather, and this 400 does it. It's efficient, 3.5 liters per 100. You don't get more efficient than that. Whether there's rain, water on the road, oil on the road, this is so sensitive. The throttle, the ride by wire, the sensitivity, how the power feeds in, how it rolls on, it's very predictable. And for commuting in traffic, this is actually the correct way to go, because having been on bikes for nearly 40 years, here if I roll on uphill, have a look at this, I'm not an obstacle to anybody. I can keep pace with anyone. And you can lane split, and it's wide enough. So yes, sometimes we get overconfident because we've been on bikes for too many years and we do silly stuff. So this is practical. So if you do the pros and cons, yes, I have to admit, put my hand up, this is the correct way to go. However, if this could be the C400GT, a little bit more, maybe I would actually put one in my garage and start commuting with it. I hope you enjoyed this little ride and review with me on the BMW C400 GT. If you did, as always, please guys, remember, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, and most important of all guys, please hit that subscribe button to help me build the channel. And if you like, the reminder bell so you always know when I'm uploading something new.